me here today, so I've got my recording lights on, so hopefully you forgive the little patches of light. It's probably better than sitting here in the dark, which is what I'd be doing if I didn't have them on. I'm just going to check that my volume is okay. There we are. Oh, okay, that sounds okay to me. Where's the down? Okay, cool. These aren't the cards I'm doing today. I've been spending my time in the craft room cutting some of this beautiful glimmer paper, and I think with having the special lights on, it just really glimmers. I just wanted to show you that. These are the snowflakes for this card, which is the one of the cards from my Christmas workshop. If you haven't seen that advertised, please pop onto my Facebook page and have a look. Thankfully, there's a lovely half a dozen ladies who've already paid for the workshop, so I've got underway cutting kits and getting ready for that, and I've popped in a nice big order for all your special goodies as well. So not too late, definitely not too late. I'm taking bookings for that class right through to the end of September, and I'll start sending kits out in dribs and drabs as they're ready. But you also get the kits. You get the kits for 6 projects, PDF instructions, video instructions, and if you want to pop on live and do them, I'm going to do a Zoom session towards the end of the month. So we'll definitely be able to get together and do them if that's what you prefer to do. I can see a fair few people jumping on. Jan's having coffee at her usual cafe. Nice to see. Oh, excellent. So many of you jumping on. Jump on, say hi say hi, tell me where you're watching from, and if it's your first time, let me know as well. I sometimes don't get to the comments as I'm crafting, but I definitely come back to them after and check out where you're all from. So today I'm going to do 2 cards for you, and here's the first look you've had at them. It's using the Charming Sentiments stamp set and the where is it? That one. The Sentiment Silhouette dies. Now, these have been available in the current catalogue for a wee while, but I haven't actually got around to buying them until recently. And to be honest, I wish I'd done it sooner. They are just absolutely the most handy bundle you will ever come across. So many times we try to cut out our sentiments with our scissors and never quite doing as good a job as you sort of sometimes see people online who just have that knack. This die set, it has sentiments for just about everything there: birthdays, babies, just thank yous, good luck, all those sorts of things, congratulations. Lots of great sentiments there that you'll use again and again. But the star of the show are these dies, and these dies actually will do a really professional job of cutting out those sentiments. So for every sentiment in the kit, in the stamp set, you've got a die that will cut it out so awesomely. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to using this one again and again. It also has, just as a little added bonus, it has these little candles, and that's what I'm going to use in the second card that I show you. So a little candle, it's got a little flame, a little bright sparkly cutout there. It's got some hearts and stars and things as well. But as I say, the star of the show are definitely these sentiment cutouts here. So if you haven't got this one, please look at it, because look at whether you think you'll use it, because it's absolutely awesome. So many times you get introduced these days, they introduce a product, or not just Stampin' Up, but products in general, where you don't actually have a use for it until the product already comes out. I'm thinking of mobile phones, to be honest. I mean, we didn't really know we needed mobile phones until mobile phone producers told us that we do. So, and now we just can't live without them. Whereas this product, or particularly the dies, definitely there was a need for them before they came out. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit skew there, aren't I? I think I am. Anyway, all good. Keep your head slightly on the side if you wanted to see me straight. Okay, so we're going to do 2 cards. I'll do this one here first. It's actually quite simple. I wasn't too sure about it when I first looked at it. I thought, gosh, you've gone a little bit too simple there, Julianne. But I think actually looking at it, it's quite effective and just so beautifully bright and, and effective. So I'm going to stick with the thank you stamp from the Charming Sentiments, and I'm actually going to put it in a range of colours, sort of like colours of the rainbow. I'm going to swap the colours slightly from the sample card, and you'll see why very soon, because I have gone a bit crazy with the embellishments, and you'll see why shortly. Okay, so I've got a Poppy Parade card base. I want to say it's Poppy Parade. Yes, it is. Poppy Parade card base, 8 1/4 by 5 1/2. I've got a white panel for inside, which I'll pop in towards the end, and I've got another basic white card base for the stamping. And I'll just stay still for a second because everything's gone a bit blurry. There you go. Sorry, sometimes when it's really dark in the craft room, which it is at the moment, even with my lights, the camera takes a wee bit of effort. I might put my light up a bit, see if it stops struggling so much. Okay, we'll see if that helps. Which obviously you will get the glow a little bit more. Now, to do these thank yous in these sort of semi-straightish sort of lines, I've actually got my ruler and a pencil, and I've actually ruled lines on there. Now, for this particular stamp, the lines are 1 inch apart. So I might actually rule those first, and then we'll be able to just get stamping. So thankfully my grid paper's got, I am a little bit low down, just bear with me a minute, bring it up a bit, there you go. Luckily my grid paper is 1 inch apart every line, so I'm just going to line that up rather than having to measure it. I'm just going to line that up with my grid paper, and of course it doesn't have to be exactly right. And then rule my very light pencil marks. Of course, if you have an eye for accuracy and think you could do it by just straight eye, go for it. So I've got 5 different colours, so I'm just going to draw 5 lines up and down there. Okay, they're just very faint, and I do have here my pencil eraser, which has gone in a little hole and I can't get it out. So I'm going to use that just to rub them out when we're done. Okay, so my thank you. So the colours I'm going to use, this original card I've used Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, Poppy Parade. This one's the Polished Pink, and then I used the beautiful new in colour Orchid Oasis. I'm going to change those slightly. I'm going to bring them in line with the embellishments that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use the, where are you guys? The glossy, where are they? Where did I put them? The embellishments I'm going to use are, oh yes, here they are. The Fine Sparkle gems. So I'm going to bring my colours in line with those so I can use those embellishments on the card. So just bear with me, it will make more sense when you see it, I'm sure. I'm going to start in the middle. So I'm going to start with my Poppy Parade. I hope that's increasing that light's sort of helped the situation. I'll just straighten myself up a bit. Anyway, all good. Okay, so my Poppy Parade is going to be the middle colour. So in there. Where's my original card? Make sure I do it right. In there, yeah. So I'm going to line that up with, and bring it a wee bit closer so I know I'm over the top of it. Just line that up because I can see through my block. But line it up with the pencil mark and start in the middle. That's okay. My Poppy Parade's a little bit blotchy. I wonder if this one strangely ended up with 2 Poppy Parade stamp pads, and this one's not quite, you can tell it's a little bit blotchy. Probably why I ended up with two. Maybe I got a replacement. Let's see if this one's any better. So our second, this side's going to go just over there a wee bit. Yep, that one's better. And then this one will go, again, just trying to line it up with the, roughly with the pencil mark. So there's our Poppy Parade thank yous. Give that a wee bit of a clean off. And we'll go up to Pumpkin Parade. Next layer up. Now I'm keeping my thank yous in line with each other. This one's a little bit blotchy too. You could sort of build yourself a little brick wall if you decided that's what you'd prefer to do, sort of line them up sort of differently with each other, but I'm keeping them in a straight line. That's our pumpkin pie. Top one will be, oh, I'm going pink. Yes, maybe I should have done the pink one first and then the pumpkin pie at top. That's all right. I could use the yellow. No, it's okay. I've gone pink. Did have the yellow on the other one, and as I said, I was changing it, but obviously I wasn't changing it enough. I'm going pink at the top, which probably isn't particularly in line with the rainbow, but that's all good. Here we are. Oh, that one's a little bit down. It's a little bit hard not being able to get over the top of my work since I've got the camera just above, but that's okay. It's slightly off, but not close. Then I'm going to bring in my Bermuda Bay, and that's going to be the layer down here. And we're going to finish off with Pacific Point. Yeah. And Pacific Point. So you could do this technique with any stamp, really, just absolutely any. Even stick to the, I thought maybe the good luck would be really good, or the woohoo, but you'd obviously, it's a smaller stamp, you'd have to put everything a little bit closer together. Yeah, any of those you could use to build up this sort of like grid of sentiments. This is our Pacific Point, one of my favourite blues. There we are. So that's our little grid of thank yous. I'll just wait for that to briefly dry before I bring in my rubber. I don't want to smudge anything, my eraser. Rubber, eraser, depends what country you're watching from. And we just get rid of those little pencil marks. Now I'm going to do one more stamp, and then I'm going to cut out using those wonderful dies. So I'm going to grab just a scrap of white. What have I got over here? Have I got some white? Yeah. I've been popping all my scraps into a plastic bag because I get so many little white scraps that you always know that you'll find one that's exactly the right shape and size if you keep them all. So that's just right for our thank you. So I'm using the Poppy Parade again, as I mentioned. And just pop that straight on there. And I'm going to get the dies, the die that fits this shape. And I'll show you how awesome it is. So one trick now, if you do buy these, and I'm totally recommending that you do, whatever method you use to store your dies, I suggest that you do it straight away, because there are so many and they're so small and so fiddly that I usually leave my dies sort of jangling around in the packet for ages and ages before I actually get around to popping them on the magnets. With this one, I've popped them on the magnets straight away because I just didn't want to lose the dies, and I knew I would if I went by my normal sort of lax method of getting around to it one day. Yes, so definitely whatever you do to your dies to stop them from wandering off, don't wait, do it straight away. I'm sure there's far more better organised people out there who say, yes, I do that as soon as I open the packet. And I'm jealous of you because I don't. So much other stuff to do, organising. Okay, so there we are. I've cut out that little thank you there. You can see that. I mean, I, in a million years, wouldn't have been able to be quite as accurate and uniform with my cutting out as this one has managed to be. So, yeah, no more being jealous of people with their wonderful, steady cutting and precision cutting. No, we can do it now with our dies. Okay, so we'll bring back our little stamped card. Now, I have a circle here of Poppy Parade, which I have just cut. This is the smallest or second from smallest of the stylish shapes dies. So it's one of the round stitched circles. I'm going to just basically glue that to my card base, but over the top, I didn't really have to stamp that middle one, but over the top of that middle thank you. Just going to cover it over basically completely. Sort of central. And then what we want to do, and I'm just going to check that I am central, I'm going to bring in the thank you that we've just die cut, and we're going to pop that on there. So it just really makes that central thank you really pop out at us, which is what we're after. Okay, so, and I'll even make it pop even more, I'm going to grab some of the dreaded small mini dimensionals, and I'm going to pop those on the back. I think just 4 is enough. It doesn't really have to be dimensioned to within its inch of its life. I probably should have added this to the card base before I got too carried away. Okay, so we're just going to pop that just as central and as straight as we can in that little circle there. So we've got that there. There we are. Okay, so I'll grab my card base, which I've popped it to the side somewhere. Here it is. Really, there is just a jungle of stuff, and before I start the next card, I might actually get rid of a bit of the jungle of stuff around me, because when I was cutting kits, I've got stuff everywhere, as you do when you're cutting kits. As I say, I've already started cutting some of the kits for my Christmas workshop, so if you want to jump on board with that, please do so. If I'm organised enough, I can get them out nice and early, so you can make a start. But yeah, so mindful of everybody's budgets, I'm doing my Christmas workshop in place of a product class this month. So you won't have to be tempted to buy 2 classes. You can just enroll for the workshop without worrying that you're going to miss something. And then obviously the budget will hopefully be able to stretch. But yes, so don't feel that there's too many things happening. It's just the workshop will be my product class for this month. And then the next class after that will be my October fun fold. Okay, so we've got the blank in there. What have we got in there that might be so we've got thank you on the front. Is there anything that sort of complements that? Beyond grateful, I suppose. I might just leave it blank on the inside, and it becomes something you can customize for whatever occasion. So there we are. So that's, as I say, I looked at it and thought, oh, that's really simple, but to be honest, it really appeals. So it's just, sometimes you got to keep it simple, as they say. Oh, bling. I was going to use the bling. Okay, so the reason I switched those colours around a bit is because I wanted to bring them more in line with the colours from these fine sparkle gems. If I can work out how to open it, here we go. So I can use, and I've been a bit of a rebel, as I say. I have never done this with one of my cards before. I usually use 3 of one particular colour, but this time I'm going to use the colours that correspond with the colours on my stamping. Okay, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so, I'm feeling a little bit. So there with the Bermuda Bay, I'm going to use this one. I think it's actually a pool party, but it's in the same shade. Here for where I've done the Pacific Point, this is Pacific Point, so I'm going to pop a blue one down here. I'm still going to maintain sort of like my patterns that I would normally use. This one is Pale Papaya, but I'm going to pop that near the pumpkin pie one. And then this is, I think that's Flirty Flamingo, but I'm going to keep it up with the pink. So keep it up there. So slightly different patterns to my normal, but the colours, as I say, correspond with the colours of the stamps, which I really like. Anyway, so as I say, I'm a rebel today. Okay, so that's card number 1. Hopefully you like that one. As I say, pretty simple, and made even simpler by using the wonderful dies that come with the charming sentiments. Okay, so let's do that one. That's the simple one. The next one, as simple as that was, the next one gets a bit crazy. It's a bit over the top. But I am going to have a bit of a tidy up because I'm drowning in stuff. I'll get rid of these kits. Bear with me. I'll pop them over here on my back table. What else have I got that I don't need? Oh, these. Probably would have been a good idea to clear them before I started, but that's okay. We'll clear these away. That's it. There. Get rid of those. Yep. That's it. Okay, cool. Now let's get started. I might put this die back because we don't need this particular one this time. So we're going to do a card with the candles that we mentioned that are in the kit. So these really cute little candles here. Okay, just really, really, I just love them. They are mega fiddly though, so be very careful. You're going to drop them on the floor, or you're going to get them attached to your clothing, or you're going to, it's going to happen. Just be prepared. But yeah, but the effect is just so cute. So, and I don't usually go for cute, but I like this. Okay, so we've got a card base here, a basic white thick card base, normal size. Then I've got a layer of Daffodil Delight, because we're going to go bright. We might as well go very bright. So I'll just add that now. No ribbons to worry about me forgetting to put them on, so we're just moving on. So the layer of Daffodil Delight is 1/4 of an inch smaller, so it's 3 7/8 by 5 1/4. Then I've got a panel of the Hues of Happiness paper. This is the big showy side. I'm not going to use that. I'm actually going to use the other side, which has got some really lovely crosses of various colours and things on there. And it's these colours that I've used as my as I've used to guide me when I do my little candles. So Always be guided by the paper when it comes to that sort of thing. So there we are, just the basic layers there, waiting for our cute candles. Okay, so for mounting the candles, I have a Daffodil Delight circle, and this is the second from largest stitched circle in the Stylish Shapes. And then I've got just a straight circle that I've cut using the nest layering circles framelits. So that's just there. I didn't really want to double up on the stitching. You could have just used the next size down stitched circle, but I thought I would just I've mucked that up. I thought I would just go with the straight circle just to do that. I'm just taking my glue off because there was one more thing I wanted to do, and that's this little sort of like a burst, a candle light burst die that they've got in the set. Now it's just a series of little holes cut out, but it gives you that, and I'll show you here so you know we're heading, gives you that sort of like starburst sort of look in your cardstock, and so I can see the really pretty yellow coming through. So I'm just going to cut that. I'm just going to cut one just in the center there, and that helps me position the central candle. So I'm just going to pop that there, sort of a central. It's a bit hard with a circle. Circles have sort of centers, but I think that's close enough. And I'm just going to cut that out, and then I can glue it. I'm going to put that straight back because, as I said, I know I'm going to lose these dies because there's so many of them. So we'll get rid of that. Okay, so there we have our little cutout there. Move you out of the way again. Okay, so now I'm going to glue it to the yellow circle. Okay, now I've cut some candles out already, just so you guys don't have to watch me die cutting 5 candles. I'll just go through the colours that I've used, and I've got one that I can actually assemble here for you. So I've got a Poppy Parade one, and that's a Bermuda Bay. This is a pumpkin pie. It will come out. There's a pumpkin pie, and this is a polished pink. So as I say, I've just been guided by the colours that are on that designer series paper. So this is what you get when you die cut them. You get a little separate candle sort of pattern. You get a little flame, and you get this sort of just plain rectangle here. It's obviously the background. So if I pick these up, you can see they're white on the back. Now, because I'm putting them on a white surface, I probably didn't need to put the white backing, but I wanted to show you the full thing. So that's the full thing. So, and rather than muck around with glue, which was going to ooze up through the little marks anyway, I've actually cheated a wee bit and just cut a length, probably an inch or so, of double-sided tape. Just popped it on that yellow, on that basic white rim. And because that little, coincidentally, the little rectangle is exactly the same width as the double-sided tape, so it must be 6 mil. Got a hair there, just bear with me. Got my dog patting jumper on, so we're getting dog hairs everywhere. That's all right. Okay, so I've just got a wee bit of double-sided tape on there. Now cover it with the candle pattern, and it'll stick. And I mean, it is sticky if you pushed your finger in there, but because it's sort of a layer of cardboard down, it's not too bad. Then I'm going to just grab a wee tiny little, that's the theory anyway, dab of glue. And then I'll grab take my pick tool and I'll put the flame on. There we are. So that's as easy as it gets. That's just creating our little cute candle there. So this one, I think this is Granny Apple Green, this one. So that's the colour I've gone with for the 5th candle. Okay, so we can pop our candles on now. So really it doesn't matter which one we start with. But the first one is going to have its flame sort of nuzzling up under that little light burst there, just to give the central positioning. Okay, just like that. And of course there's too much glue. Then I'm going to bring the others around. I'm going to put them in they're not going to be totally skew with, but they are going to be slightly, oh, he's lost his thingy. Didn't give it time to dry, did I? It's going to be slightly, not exactly straight, just slightly skew. Now that's putting on my fingers. Go there. Okay, stay. So there's one. And then I'll bring in another one, totally sort of random, not particularly any order. And again, slightly not straight. And then the other side. It's 5. I suppose if you had a little person in your life who was turning 5, you could pop a big 5 on there and make it pretty special. Although you could also change the numbers of candles as well. If you could probably get 6 or 7 on there at a push. There we are. There we are. So there's our little candles on our circle. I really think that's good. There we go. Yep. So we'll pop that straight onto our card base, just with some glue on the back. And just pretty central, maybe a little higher than centre, up and down ways, because I'm going to bring a sentiment down the bottom there, so I can probably bring it up just a tiny bit, not a lot. There we are. And I'm going to put 2 sentiments on the front, just because I can. I'm going to use, I'll grab another little scrap of white. I'm going to use the Woohoo. And I'm going to use the Wishing You the Happiest of Birthdays. I need to find a scrap that's going to be big enough for that. There we go. I always get these scraps when I cut card bases and things, because I'm always sort of cutting off a 1/2 inch or whatever at the bottom, which I'd hate to waste them, so I keep them for later, as probably most of you do. Okay, so I'm going to use our pretty, actually I used polished pink on that one. I might go a different colour on this one, just to make it, just for something different, just to bring out a different emphasis. Let's use what? Let's use, what have we got? Might use the Poppy Parade. It'll be a bit darker too. So our Woohoo there. Stamp's really nice. And my bigger one for my Wishing You happiest of birthdays. And then I'll get out the dies again and we'll cut these out as well. Okay, so the woohoo is not there, is there. So this is the woohoo. Sounds weird. I know where I was working in finance that I would be saying sentences like, this is the woohoo on a Saturday morning. Seems ridiculous. Here we go. So I'll grab my little mini machine again. Oh, come at you. Just about to head off after we finish this to vote this morning. Got an election, state government election being held at the moment. So yeah, we will have to head down. I was going to walk down, but the weather's pretty bad, but it's only just down. We maybe could just grab an umbrella. Yeah, so anyway, my son is coming down and we're having, he doesn't live at home anymore, but this is the first election we've had since he moved out. And we have a tradition that we grab a sausage or from the sausage sizzle that's traditionally down the road in our polling booth. We have what we call here a democracy sausage. So we're popping down the road for our democracy sausage, which is usually on me. So it's a mum sponsored democracy sausage. So there's our woo-woo. Isn't that so cool? And then we'll do I should have done them both at the same time, but I'm thinking of democracy sausages. May even get a democracy drink and a democracy piece of cake as well. Who knows? Sort of hoping that my husband would be home, but he's at swimming. And I think he said they've got a committee meeting, so we might not see him for our democracy sausages. This one's a wee bit harder. I might grab a piece of tape and keep that one in place because I don't want to ruin my stamping. I might just put that one in place. Just bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves. And my other Southern Tasmania ladies voting today. I saw Kathy on, but I don't think it's your electorate voting, is it? I think it's just over here. Unless Pembroke goes for a bit of a distance. I know probably Sally will be if she's watching. Made quite a big thing when the boys turned 18 and they started to vote because we're like to think that we're ourselves as politically aware as a family. I like to think that the boys, I don't care who they vote for, but just the fact, I hope that they're considering it carefully and not wasting it. Anyway, there's my rant for the day. Or not rant. Okay, so I've done both those now. So this one here, this is really, really nice as well. It just sort of cuts out those words. And especially because for a larger sentiment like that, if you pop that on a sentiment box that's big enough to house it, to put it all on, it's going to be quite a big sentiment box and you cover over a lot of the pretty design that you're actually creating. So that's why I think the cutting out, and specifically now that it's so easy, the cutting out with these dies is absolutely a godsend. Well, a Stampin' Up send. Okay, so the woohoo, I'm going to pop them again on some dimensionals. I'm going to pop the woohoo sort of across, a little bit across the candles, not a lot. As I said, because it's nice and cut out, it doesn't cover as much as it would if it was just a sentiment box. So just here, just from the edge and across. There we are. Woohoo. And our larger sentiment. And with the dimensionals as well. Apologies, I'm seeing messages come through at the same time from my mum. For some reason, she's looking at her emails and wondering what she's getting emails from her house and contents insurer that she doesn't understand. So I have to pop up and check that out. Okay, so they're wishing you the happiest of birthdays. I'm just going to line it up with the bottom of our little candles a little bit over to the right-hand side and pop that on there. Okay, so there we are. So that's it. That's that one. Oh, bling. Obviously, it needs bling. So I'm using the glossy dots assortment. Could use any of them really. The blue is lovely. I'm going to use the yellow, fundamentally because I have a lot of them left over. So I'd like to use some of them. A lot of yellow. Mustn't have used any yellow in classes of late. So I'm just going to pop those around, and they do match the pretty yellow anyway. There we are. Okay, so that is my second card using the Charming Sentiments bundle, which, yeah, I'm really pleased I finally managed to pop it into an order. So we have our candles and we have our really cute thank you as well. There we are. So hopefully you like both of those. Really enjoyed designing them. Actually, I wasn't in much of a mood for designing yesterday for some reason, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to do something for our video today. And yeah, we've got to start using these wonderful products, and it just, yeah, the creativity started to flow, which was nice to say. Okay, all right, thank you so much for tuning in today. If you haven't already and you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, which is a little target I've set myself. So please do like and subscribe. Pop over. If you're interested in any of those classes that I've mentioned earlier, please go over to my Facebook page. I've got all the details there. And you know, if you're in Australia, you're very welcome to jump on board with my regular classes. So thanks a lot, guys. I will chat to you all again.